So yeah, so here's that dwelling I was telling you about that my family's been in since 1932. Let's take a walk through the inside. So there used to be a lot more mounts on the wall and old newspaper articles throughout, talking about different things that have happened here over the decades. And we've removed them from the walls due to the renovation that's about to happen, and we've got to get the rest of the stuff out of here. It's fixing to be emptied out, and hopefully my great-grandchildren don't go anywhere either. I don't anticipate they're all going to live here, but hopefully it's a place they will all come back to with reverence and have family retreats here and some kind of family reunions. At the very least, that's what I'm hoping for, and I'd like for at least one, if not two or three of my kids, if not all four of them, to share responsibilities of day-to-day, operations, maintenance, and so forth. We've raised them to take on that responsibility, and I hope that as they mature, it becomes a part of their life in a way that it is in mine. So as we walk through here, the deer on the wall back there, that's one that my grandfather got. I believe it was 1968. That was the largest deer taken in this conservation area. The big bass up here came from a lady named Charlotte Simmons, Cherokee, Cherokee of Cherokee descent. She was a very close friend of my grandmother and grandfather's. She was 4'11", and that bass was half as big as her. I mean, it looked like a monster next to her. There's all kinds of neat stories. Everything in here has a bit of history to it. All these fish are from patrons of the business. The huge tarpon here, my grandfather got. He wrestled it out of a gator hole during a drought out here in the Glades. He took his airboat out there and jumped in a gator hole and bear hugged this thing and wrestled it out, threw it in a 55-gallon drum and brought it home and had it taxidermied. It's been here for 60 years. Directly behind you on the wall right there, you've got our original payphone from Southern Bell. That was put in during the Cuban Missile Crisis, during the Cold War era, was when we got electricity here and telephone communications for the very first time. So that phone is in its original position, and God only knows what coins are in it. What conversations were had. I could just imagine.
Humphrey Bogart, huh?
Well, he was here, and I do believe Humphrey Bogart probably did use that phone while they were filming The African Queen.
Oh, I love it.
Where
was your grandmother's feeding hole?
Right here. So right here, just behind the counter, one step in from the old double door.
That story.
Yeah, my grandmother would open this door, and beneath right there was this giant alligator that my mom named One-Eyed Joe. He was 14 foot 4 inches, and he would lay down here under this house, and he would keep his mouth open, and they'd feed him to kind of show off for family, friends, visitors, what have you. Yeah, his tail comes pretty much back to the boat.
Wow. How did you say you measured his age, kind of?
So you can determine alligators' age, by their size, but also by the thickness of their jaw and the diameter of their teeth, as well as the scoots, the big bumps on their back, the bones. There's multiple ways between the four of those that you can determine their age with some accuracy. Joe Wazalewski is a world-renowned herpetologist and dear friend of mine, kind of a mentor and almost surrogate father figure growing up. And Joe told me this gator's over 45 years old. So I believe if Joe says that, you can take it to the bank. What goes on here is there's a small cabin, a small traditional Gladesman camp that has an open floor plan. Bob comes pretty much every weekend, stays for the weekend, and then does some maintenance around here and goes back home. Throughout the week, we always run our eco tours through this conservation area, and we always pass right by this island. Pretty much all of our extended trips and longer, so 1.5-hour trips and longer, we stop on this island, bring people ashore, and give them a walkabout where we give a good explanation of the ecology, the history, the culture, and the uniqueness of these hammocks and the role they play within the footprint of the Everglades for terrestrial wildlife, as rookeries for the birds, and as historical dwelling places for indigenous people that have been here for eons. And long before we ever had a storm, this tree just fell over because the ground became too saturated, and there was a lot of heavy weight vertical and off to the marsh side of the tree. So the tree just kind of just slowly lifted over a 2-week window and finally fell over. It was, succumbed to the high water. And when we see a tree like this go over, when it lifts up, all that soil underneath carries in it a encapsulated, history that is unearthed. For every inch you go down, you go back 100 years in time, roughly. I've been fortunate enough to operate boats since I was really, really young. This is part of a turtle shell where a leg comes out. There.
Yeah.
That's enamel from a shark's tooth. 100%. That little thing right there, that little like shiny, almost shard, that is the enamel that's flaking off of a shark's tooth. Wow.
You talk
The water
about
was low?
a documentary on this place would be interesting.
Oh,
On Marshall himself, his family.
yeah.
On Wednesdays.
Oh, I mean that. Hey, baby. Yeah, I see you. Leave me alone.
Hey, buddy. Fight me today.